Hey, this is Beverly Bozeman. I am the creator of the About Her Ministry YouTube channel and the recently released best-selling book, Diary of a First Lady, Shiloh Grammar. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. My live stream tonight is entitled, You Needed the Pain. I just have a few pieces of information that I just wanted to share with you guys. It kind of, I was listening to somebody on YouTube and it just made me think about how we overcome things, right? And it's really painful, but we live to tell about it. And sometimes we are better for it, right? Hey, Toya Chavis and Nina. Thank you guys for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Now, when I say you needed the pain, I don't mean tragic situations. I don't mean the death of people, or although good things can come from tragic situations, I'm not talking about the tragic situations because those are like totally classed by themselves. I mean the major life irritations, having to let go of friendships, having to leave people alone who are in our families, having to dismiss ways of thinking and traditions, those types of things. That's, pretty much what I'm talking about. The non-tragic situations, but life in general, right? And here is why you needed the pain. So once we overcome major hurdles or major situations or painful situations, we now have a point of reference to where we can tell anybody, I'm a survivor. Now, some people might put a value on it. You only went through whatever, or that's not a big deal. But nobody has to walk in your shoes but you. So you can gauge whether it's a big deal or not. And the fact that you overcame it, that says a whole lot. And we don't overcome problems and we don't surpass pain for anybody's reasons but our own. We don't really sit and say, okay, I'm going to get through this so that I can prove so and so wrong because they say that my life is a cakewalk anyway. So I'm just going to get through this so I can prove them wrong. We don't do stuff like that. Most of us live in survival mode anyway. But the fact that we make it through, some people getting up in the morning and functioning, that's a big task because of the weight of what they have to do with their lives, the people who are dependent on them, the demons they have to fight, the struggles that they have to face, and especially the secret struggles and the silent cries that they have to keep to themselves. That's survival mode material anyways. So we don't try to overcome our pain and our obstacles so that we can prove people wrong or to say, look, I survived this anyway. That's really our own personal point of references. So that's why sometimes we need the pain. And another reason is that we learn from the lessons, no matter how painful. We can look back over our lives as far back as we need to, and we can see painful situations, not talking about the tragedies, but the painful situations to where we got our heart broken by friends or by somebody that we was dating, or we even let ourselves down. But there's always some type of lesson in the pain, whether it's I will never co-sign for somebody to get a car again, or when an opportunity comes and I know I have been waiting for this opportunity, I'm going to take it, and I don't care who don't like it. Because I could have been further along in life had I not listened to that bozo. It's those type of situations. There's always some type of lesson. If nothing else, one of the major lessons that I have learned down through the years is to keep your mouth shut when you are trying to do something. I don't care if you're trying to buy the new whatever kind of shoe that came out. Keep your mouth shut and don't tell people what you're going to do, because those who don't think that you should have it, they'll try to talk you out of it just because they don't want you to have it before them, or just because they feel like they don't want you to have it, period. So let's not even begin to talk about if you want to move to a house, come out of an apartment, or you want to move to a better part of town, or if you want to leave the state or the country. You tell people what it is that you want to do, and it's something they don't agree with, they will try their super duper hardest to talk you out of it. And they'll give you 50 million, 11,000 reasons as to why it's not going to work and why you shouldn't. So that's one of the major lessons that I have learned in life, is to keep my mouth shut when I'm trying to do something. So you're going to have to take it upon yourself to kind of like look over your life. You don't have to take like a fine tooth comb or magnifying glass, but just look at some of the things that you have overcome and just pull out the lessons from that. And another reason why we need the pain, it is for other people, but it's in a good way, because somebody is looking up to you. Somebody is looking at your life and saying, wow, she is really strong to overcome that, or to go through that over and over and over again, or she endured that particular situation for such a long time. She's a really strong woman. I mean, in that good aspect, somebody is watching you. Somebody is wanting to pattern their life after you. Excuse me. Somebody's wanting to pattern their life after you. So once we overcome, the people who are watching us for good reasons, they can now have another point of reference. They can now see that if she can overcome that, or if he can say no, or if he can continue in that bad situation with a smile, then I can do it too. And here's the last one, why you need the pain, is because it is preparation for the next wave of pain. I know you've heard people say that life is ebbs and flows, life is ups and downs. And when it comes to life, you're either in a storm, coming out of a storm, or on your way to a storm. Hey, Beverly Clay. And that is so true. When it comes to the storms of life, you're either in it, coming out of it, or going into it. And so as we prepare ourselves for coming out of our storm, we need to learn the lesson that we need to learn. We need to strengthen ourselves. Sometimes it's good to embrace the pain, which will help us to kind of stop doing certain things that kept us in the pain for so long, or it will help us to embrace better or new habits, or better habits, or new friends, because we're going to go into another storm. Once we come out of the one that we're in, we don't know how long it's going to be. We don't know to what magnitude. We don't know how long it's going to take for us to get through it. We don't know the level of devastation that will come along with that particular storm. But the wave of pain is going to come anyway. So as we're coming out, or even while we're in the storm, why not focus on the lessons? Why not focus on the good parts and say, okay, this is what worked for me this particular time around. I kind of stopped dealing with this particular person because they weren't there for me like I needed them to, like they said they would be, like I've always been there for them. Just know that you have to limit your interactions with certain people, because life is going to come. It's going to do what it's going to do. But if you don't have a support system, then once you get to that pain, once you get to that particular storm, and you try to reach out and get some help, you're going to kind of like be stranded out there. You're going to be like on Gilligan's Island. They went on a 3-hour tour. Y'all remember that old tale movie, the TV show Gilligan's Island? They went on a 3-hour tour and stayed there for years. Their clothes didn't wear out either, but that's a whole other thing. So you could be going through a storm or getting ready to go through a storm, and you reach out to so-and-so, and they're not going to be there for you. You got to realize that they are not the people to reach out to in a storm. That's just it. So the wrap up of it all is sometimes we need the pain of our situations to prepare us for the next wave of pain, to give us a point of reference so that we can say, if I went through this, I can make it through this. For us to also see where a person's heart is, or to allow us to see where people are on their radar of important people. I'm gonna always be there for you, girl. You can count on me no matter what. But when the time comes and they're nowhere to be found, that's proof positive that you're not really high up on their level of priorities. But let's not get that part mixed up. Sometimes some people can't be there for you, and that's just the way it is. But when certain people are never there for you and you are always there for them, then that says a whole lot. But anyways, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I was listening to somebody on YouTube and they mentioned something about being in pain and survival and all that stuff. And it just made me think about how we oftentimes grow from painful situations, and I consider it non-tragic. Some people do, some people grow out of tragedy, but I don't want people to get the wrong idea about tragic situations. You can always learn from it, but I think it's harder for people to grow or learn from a tragic situation because it shifts lives. But I mean, like the non-tragic, sometimes I guess you can call them little irritants or aggravations, or just, I don't know, points of reference for learning. But anyways, that's about it. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. If you haven't had the opportunity to check out my latest book, Diary of a First Lady, Shiloh Grammar, check out the link in my bio and go to my website. And it's a really awesome book, if I must say so myself. And the book is about a pastor's wife who is being blackmailed about something that she did in her past. Really, really awesome book. And she writes about it in her diary because she doesn't have anybody to talk to. And I know that to be a fact. My YouTube channel about her ministry, I interview first ladies, female pastors, and ministers. And some of the things, you know, that they talk about kind of reminded me of my story that I wrote. That thank you, Beverly, they don't really have a lot of people that they can confide in because of what they have to do for God. You know, it requires them to be alone for a season, or just not to have a whole lot of friends. And it's hard to not talk about people. It's hard not to talk to people about what it is that you're going through when you don't have anybody that you can trust. So that's kind of what Diary of a First Lady is about. Somebody is blackmailing this lady about something she did. So she's writing to God in her diary, and somebody dies. I don't want to give too much away, but it's really good. It's kind of like a mystery, but it's very dramatic, very clean, but it's hot stuff, even if I must say so myself. And I was trying my super duper hardest to kind of do a little skit dealing with the first chapter. Maybe the first 5 or 6 pages, a little introduction. And me and my husband, we worked on it or whatever, but it just didn't work out. So we had to like do it again and kind of do some editing to it. We just got to find the time to get it done. But anyways, I was also working on, for those who want to purchase the book, I'm going to have a free journal writing class, a diary and journal, kind of along the same lines. I guess it depends on what you use it for, but I'm going to create a free course for those who purchase the book on journal writing. And I'm working on the course and working on the journal. So anyways, that's about it. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Be sure to release your genius, pull off the impossible every day. Remember, you will have whatever it is that you say. So be positive when you speak, Queen.